Welcome back to the Nerd channel. Today we are asking the question, where is the best place to buy your consoles in 2025, specifically the PS5? We're asking the question, are you actually better buying second hand than you are brand new? I'm joined by Ross this evening to discuss this. Let's get right into it. Ross, how are we doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic, mate. What's prompted this video this evening is I went out at the weekend looking to buy a PS5. I was kicking about in Smiths and decided against it. And one of the reasons I decided against it is because I have a shit ton of CX vouchers that I could use to help with the cost of things. But then I was prompted something in my head. CX give you a 5-year warranty for all purchases, and Sony give you 12 months with the PS5 direct. Ross, you've actually spoken to a few CX staff. Can you talk us through a little bit about where the 5-year warranty actually came from?
Yeah, so from my understanding, they previously, until very recently, had a 24-month warranty, which is pretty good. I don't think anyone would be too upset by having a 24-month warranty on something that could be decades old, depending on how old the stuff is. But the reason why they'd upped it was, at least the staff seemed to believe, that the amount of people that were calling it in, say 6, 7, 8 months from the end, was actually surprisingly low. So the logic from those who have the power at CEX was, well, why not just more than double it? The logic is, it's good publicity. People aren't going to call it in the first place, because if they're not calling in anywhere near a 2-year, what's the odds of them calling in a 5? People might even still somehow, even though they market this, forget they have a 5-year warranty. But from the consumer perspective, it's unrivaled, it's unmatched. It's very impressive.
So let's be honest as well, not only is it a warranty and a guarantee of the product, it is a little bit of a back yourself type position, because anybody that's ever traded something at CX knows that they will extensively test tech and items and retest it before it goes back out. Now, it isn't a black and white full 5-year fixed warranty. It is a like for like replacement. If they don't have stock, it is the lower value of what you paid or the current market value at the time you try and return it, which is still reasonable.
Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Aye, still pretty reasonable, especially if you happen to be trading back in an older console. But we're looking at the PS5. There is only one place to start, and that is the price. Let's not pretend that that's not going to be the driving factor of this. So yeah. I've made some notes. I've been on the internet, and I've been in a couple of shops today as well, getting prepared. So CEX, essentially for consoles have three. They have 4, but we'll call it 3 grades, because there's no mint PS5s in the UK apart from a couple of special editions, which we're excluding for the purpose of this video. So boxed standard is $375, unboxed is $365, and discounted is $355. As far as we're aware, discounted usually means unboxed and reasonably warm in terms of scratches and physical damage.
There's usually like a mark on it. There's usually like a sticker missing, something like that.
Something that's irrelevant for day-to-day use, but it's discounted. For the Pro model, same prices are $640, $620, $610, and for the Slim, you get it $410, $405, and $395. Reasonable. Now, I've looked at 5 major retailers for prices: Currys, Argos, Amazon, Smiths, and John Lewis. I'm going to discount the standard model because it's only available on Amazon. It's actually much more expensive than CX. For the Pro, you're talking around the $650 mark, and for the Slim, around the $390 mark. So actually, your savings on boxed versus new are about a tenner. If you go CX, there's not much of a saving. Discounted, unboxed, okay, it's a little bit more. The one thing that's worth teasing out in this is that John Lewis are actually giving you a 2-year guarantee through them.
Oh.
which I did find out. I'm throwing that in there to be honest, because we're trying to be a bit controversial in this video and say maybe CX is better, but that's something. So you have to assign a value to that guarantee or that warranty. So that's the price. Let's discuss what you're giving up. So we are collectors of games and consoles. If you can see on my shoulder, I'm still trying to move house, and you'll see several boxes of stuff. Does having a box matter for a console if you're playing it every day?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter in 2025 if you're, pulling out your PS5 and off you go. It's handy when you want to sunset something, obviously, and you can just chuck it back in a box so you know it fits. It does seem to matter though if it is 25 years down the line,
Yes.
and you're looking at the value of something. A boxed PS1 will always be worth a little bit more. A really, really nice box on a Super Nintendo game will astronomically increase the value of the cartridge. It's the same idea where it takes a bit of time for that to kick in. So it really does depend on if A, are you collecting, but B, are you collecting for the long haul?
So there's,
You kind of have to hit both of those metrics, I think, for the box to matter.
I mean, you can see there's a tiny bit of damage on that cardboard box, but this cardboard box has essentially been in a loft. The only time it's been out of a loft was in a moved house. Twice. The 360 box is 22 years old and has damage, but it's in pretty good nick. The original one, and the S box is somewhere at the back. Oh, it's up there. I mean, I've not kept them pristine, but I've looked after the consoles. The consoles all work apart from the red ring of death, so on the OG 360. So, surely, unless you're going to buy an acrylic case to protect your box, buying unboxed or discounted versus boxed wouldn't matter. If you're a collector, would you not just buy a nice, pristine, brand new one to store and maybe buy a second hand one for day-to-day play?
There is kind of arguments for that kind of stuff. Like I know that certainly a few months back I picked up a PS3 because that's a console I never had personally. My dad had one. But...
Sorry, my dad wanted to start watching Blu-ray movies in the house, and back then a Blu-ray player was like 500 quid, 600 quid. It was insanely expensive when Blu-ray first hit the market. So it was actually cheaper to buy a PS3 and get that in the house so you could sit and watch his Blu-rays for about it was about 200 quid less.
But never really used it, and I was trying to get involved in playing all of the exclusives, and I went unboxed. I managed to get a pretty reasonable deal where it was a discounted one, but they couldn't find the reason why it was discounted when I was in the store, and with a controller plus a charge lead, I think it was like 60 or 70 quid for a PS3 that was like maybe a 60 or 80 gig model. It wasn't the backwards compatible one, but it was one that was in good nick. So yeah, for me, for stuff these days it doesn't matter, but if I was decided, right, okay, I want a Super Nintendo, different story. I would want the box, but that's because it's older, therefore in my head it means more. So basically ask me in 2050.
I think ahead. Do you wish you'd bought the box one?
Yeah.
I guess the next question we should ask is, should you trust CEX?
Well, that's the interesting one for me, because it varies store to store and staff member to staff member, shift to shift. I know that certainly when I traded in some stuff before, they will go as far as to go and test it in front of me and tell me there and then this is good. I know that I went into a different store and gave over a stack of Wii games, and they went as far as to open it up, looked at the disc, and went, yep, and that was fine, and they just scanned it, and that was it. So I don't know if age also plays a part in that. The differences you get as well between a franchise store versus one that's part of the corporate model is a thing. Franchise ones don't tend to, from experience, put as much quality control in. So, if you're looking for to buy something like that, maybe you do go to one that is a corporate store. Returns are returns, and they'll accept them anywhere. But so it's more a case of do you want to go through the hassle if something doesn't work? I think you can trust them, but it's the same for any other store as, would you prefer saving a few quid and getting something that's pre-owned, or are you someone who absolutely loves the newest thing and taking the cellophane off yourself? Like that to some people matters a lot. Horses for courses, and it's very much a sort of a personal question, I guess. That one, it's a tough one to answer.
I don't think there's a right answer, and that's unfortunately what I think we're going to conclude in this TNF bite. Is not that I'm giving parenting advice to people out there, but if you're buying a PS5 for your kids' playroom, bedroom, whatever, maybe going discounted standard model is the way to go. Save a bit of money, get that 5-year warranty guarantee from CEX. It seems reasonable to us. But looking at the deals, I would say the best deal that you have right there is probably John Lewis, $385 for a slim 1TB with a 2-year guarantee. It's actually cheaper than the discounted slim at CEX. So you've got to decide, is the extra 3 years worth the tenner?
Yes, maybe.
It's probably not for me, but versus being the brand new factory sealed. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. If you want to be the first owner, brand new factory sealed, know that there's going to be no marks and dings on it. Great, but also remember you can buy replacement covers for the PS5 for not a lot of money if that's such a big deal to you. It's such a modular console. I wouldn't discount CEX. I think the other thing to think about is, and you'll see this in the Birmingham vlog. Actually, it may have dropped before this video. I'm hoping it drops before this video. When I was in Birmingham CX, they had about 20 PS5s. Ask the staff if they're not too busy. I'm sure they'll show you 3 or 4 models and let you show for them. Other CX, even my local CX, which is a very small store, has 2 boxed in store. So you have the option to choose. We've seen some flexibility from staff where if an unboxed one's in better condition than a boxed one, I'm sure they'll do you a deal and give you the unboxed one with the box. They're not really caring. They make the sale. So yeah, that's the final advice. If having the first box where the factory seals matters, great. If the reason for something being discounted isn't particularly jarring to you, buy a discounted one, play it. By all means, just have fun with it. If you want another one for collecting, have another one for collecting. And that wraps up the video. Call to action. Let us know in the comments if you've bought something secondhand from CEX and had any issues with it, or if it went well. Really interested to hear from anybody that has had to return something using the guarantee, especially if you've managed to go into year 3 or 4 beyond sort of standard warranties. It's really interesting to hear. So drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and let us know what else you want us to discuss next in terms of where to buy and what to buy. We are planning a Prime Day deals video, which could be exciting. So let us know if there's anything else you want us to look at beforehand and do some pros and cons for you. So we'll sign off the video there. From Ross.
Pleasure as always, folks.
And for myself, take it easy and we'll catch you in the next one. And cut.